Alright guys, in this video I'm going to give you guys 5 prospecting tips that simply work and that I used to get my first $1,200 client and that I still use to this day. These tips just plain and simply work, especially number 4. I think once I realized number 4 in this video, it literally changed the way I prospect, and I think this one change alone really helped me understand how to SMMA prospect well, but it kind of doesn't really make sense unless you listen to all the other points. So be sure to stay tuned for that. So let's get right into it. So if you don't know me already, my name is Bogle, coming to you from the trenches. I say that all the time because I'm in the trenches with you guys, trying to build a successful SMMA, and I'm sharing what works, and I'm also sharing what doesn't work, so that way you don't make the same mistakes I did. So be sure to, keep up with me in this journey and keep getting this profitable content by leaving a like on this video and subscribing. It really helps out. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, so let's get there. I plan to do something special once we get to 1,000 subscribers. So, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Really helps the channel grow and pushes to a new audience. Plus, it's going to encourage me to make more content that you guys like. And, overall, I realized that you guys really like when I talk about SMA prospecting. So I'm definitely going to be making more videos about that in the coming future. So, but for right now, here are 5 tips that you can use. You can start using, literally as soon as you're done watching this video, that can help you get more clients. So first tip number 1 is that realize that SMA prospecting is a numbers game. So there's going to be a lot of people that'll tell you, oh, it's not really a numbers game, but it really is. It all comes down to how many people are you reaching out to every single day to see if they need your services. Simply put, you're not gonna get any clients if you're not doing any work or any sort of outreach. So if you're not doing any cold calling, any cold emailing, video DMs, or going on to Upwork, if that number is a big fat 0, what you're gonna get is 0. Surprise, surprise. But realize that, just because you reach out to 10 businesses doesn't mean that you're gonna get 1 client. It's a lot harder than that. And, just because you reach out to 100 businesses, sometimes there's some scenarios where you're not going to even get 1 appointment from it. And that's just where it is. But if you reach out to 1,000 businesses, 10,000 businesses, as long as your messaging is good and it offers what they want, you are bound to get some appointments. You are bound to get some clients once you, hit that, big number mark. And 15,000 may seem daunting, but it's a lot easier to reach than you think, because, it's just, it compounds, day after day. If you're reaching out to businesses each and every day, that number is going to add up. So even if it's like 100, then it gets to 200, then it gets to 300, then 10 days later you're at 1,000 businesses. Another 10 days later you're at 2,000 businesses. But overall, you have to understand that it is a numbers game. You can't just say, I'm only going to reach out to 20 businesses and build a 6-figure agency from that. That's not how it works. Or if you do choose it that way, you're going to have a very hard time growing your SMMA through this prospecting strategy. So be sure to, remember that it's a numbers game. The more businesses you reach out to, the better, but make sure, your messaging is intact, because if you message 1 million people saying, hey, give me $1 million, it's still very unlikely that you're going to, get a response. But if you follow this tip for number 2, even if you reach out to 100 businesses, you still may get, 3 to 5 appointments from reaching out to that many businesses. And that's through personalization of your message. So when I say personalization, I mean it not particularly like, oh, every single small thing about that business, because overall, the more you personalize the message, the more time it takes to message that one business. So overall, when it comes to personalizing the message, all I really do is just use the first name if I can find it, and if I can't find it, I just don't use the first name. But the one thing I always personalize is I always say I can give them what they want. So for example, if you're trying to reach out to dentists, they want more patients. Instead of saying, hey, I can get you 7 to 10 more customers, I say, hey, I can get you 7 to 10 more patients who need, a lot of dental work, talk for 10 to 15 minutes. So, instead of just making it generic of like, oh, I can get you 10 to 15 more customers, say, like, exactly what they want. So if they are a solar company, for example, you can say, I can get you, 7 to 10 more homeowners who want solar installation, something like that. So if you can't find the first name, that's fine. Overall, just personalize the message to say, hey, I can give you what you want. Let's talk so we can, overall come to an agreement that way. Number 3 is to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe below. Again, it really helps out. You did that? Okay, good. So the actual number 3 is to download a tool that can help you get a lot of leads fast, and the tool I use is Lead Extractor. So when it comes to prospecting for your SMMA, a lot of the time, I see a lot of people, and this was me included, they would go onto Google, go onto different websites, type out the business owner name and information, type out the number, type out a lot of different things, and then after an hour, you only get like 20 leads or so. So, that's boring, and that's cutting into time you can be doing to actually doing prospecting and reaching out to those businesses. So you want to pretty much kind of just outsource, the lead creation or the lead generation. And I use Lead Extractor to do it because you get up-to-date information straight from Google, which people already update, and it takes literally like 30 seconds, and you can literally get like 500 to 1,000 to 2,000 different leads to contact, and it gives you a lot more information, gives you the name, website, and phone number. It tells you if they have the Facebook pixel. It does so many different things. So, I highly recommend you download the Lead Extractor to help you with your lead generation, and click the link in the description below for that. Yes, it is an affiliate link, but I actually use this tool all the time. You can see it in the top right of my screen. In pretty much all my videos for the most part, because I believe in it and it saves me so much time, and it's a lot cheaper than D7 Lead Finder. So, go ahead, click the link in the description below and download Lead Extractor and start downloading your leads. So that way, you can spend more time focusing on doing the outreach, actually setting appointments, rather than just writing down a bunch of information from businesses that may not be interested. And this is the tip that really connects everything. The closer you are to being face to face, the more likely you are to set an appointment. So what do I mean by that, being face to face? Well, since we're in a kind of a pandemic right now, that's kind of hard. But the more human-like the interaction is, the more likely you're to set an appointment. So for example, if you actually go to the business, if you go door to door and you're trying to sell, your SMA services, you don't have to reach out to as many people because there's a human interaction to it. Since A, we can't go do door to door for right now, and B, that takes a lot of time for the most part. The next best thing, and the one I really highly recommend, is to actually start dialing the phone and doing cold calling, because A, it's again human to human interaction. Although you're not there, you're still talking on the phone, you hear the business owner's voice, you hear your voice. And every time I need more appointments fast, I always just pick up and dial the phone and start making some cold calls, and then I can literally make appointments in 15 minutes. If you don't believe me, watch one of my live cold calls. You can literally see it for yourself. And if you want to use the script that I use to book those appointments, there's a link in the description below for that as well. Doing cold calls, I may make 10 calls one day and be able to book 2 or 3 appointments, where when compared to something that's even low, that's not even human to human, cold email, cold DMs, and all that, I may have to send 100, 200, 300 messages in order for me to get 2 to 3 appointments. Although yes, it is a numbers game, the more face-to-face you actually have it, the more human-to-human interaction, the better it is, and the more likely you are to actually book appointments. So if you could do door-to-door a lot, and you can do door-to-door to 50 businesses, you're probably gonna set like 10 to 12 appointments doing that, especially if they need your service. Cold calling is the next best, and which is one I highly recommend. But if you really can't cold call, then do cold email, and do cold messaging. Again, personalize the message to say that you can get them what they want, and boom, you should be able to have a client from there. The last tip, number 5, but don't worry, there's a bonus tip, so stay tuned, is to be consistent. You can't expect to, reach out to 12 businesses in one day and then, wait 2 weeks, and it's like, okay, reach out to 5 to 6, and then, wait another 2 weeks, and then, reach out to 2. You gotta be consistent with it, because like I was saying in the beginning, if you reach out to, even just 20 businesses a day, it adds up. Every week you're reaching out to 100 businesses. Every month it's 400 businesses overall. So just being consistent and doing it every day, it's getting you closer and closer to finding your new client, rather than just, going hard at it one day and then just not doing it at all, because then as soon as you stop prospecting, you give up all chances of getting your next SMMA client. So be consistent with your SMMA prospecting, and if you are consistent, you are just bound to get more clients if you're doing everything else the proper way. And yes, not everyone's gonna say yes to you, unfortunately, but you don't need that many yeses to build a really profitable SMA agency. Just look at me. I post my closing calls. I reach out to a whole lot of business owners, and a lot of them say no to me. But I'm still fine, and I'm still making a good amount of money, and I'm looking to make even more money with SMMA with my prospecting. So you don't need everyone to say yes to you. You just need a few yeses to actually start making some money with SMMA. And the bonus tip, which is I guess tip number 6, is just to start small and then go up. So this is one huge thing that I think many people don't realize, that they start huge, they start with a huge momentum, but then they can't keep it up, and then they eventually burn out, and then they don't get any more clients anymore, unfortunately. But what you want to do is start small. So if let's say you're scared of cold calling, just make 1 call a day, then the next day make 2, make 3, make 4. Sooner or later you'll be making 10, 20, 30 calls per day. And that's what I did. So when I started to cold call, I was scared as heck to do it, but I made my first call, and then I realized, oh, it's not that bad. Then I made my second, my third, my fourth, my fifth, and then it gets a lot easier. And then when it gets easier, you get more confident, and then when you get more confident, you book more appointments doing that. So start small. Doesn't matter how small, but just start small and be consistent. It's such a powerful combination. So those are the 5 prospecting tips. Overall, it's a numbers game. Personalize the message. Get lead extractors so you don't have to spend hours upon hours typing out and finding lead information. The more face-to-face, the better, which is probably the most important tip in this one. Be consistent and start small. So overall, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Thank you so much for watching. So once you actually get the client, what do you do next? So you have to set them up with Facebook ads, right? So click on the video up there so you can learn exactly how to set up a Facebook ads client. So that way you know exactly what to do once you sign them up as a client. I'll see you guys in that video. Take care.